Welcome to our review for your Chapter 5 Part 1 test. What this test is on is linear equations in different forms. So this first problem says we're given 2 points and we need to write it in point-slope form, slope-intercept form, and standard form. So the first thing we need to do when trying to look for point-slope form is find a point and find a slope. Well, we have 2 points. So we know we can use one of those points, but we need to find the slope. So we got to do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Our x1 is 1, our y1 is negative 19, our x2 is negative 2, and our y2 is negative 7. So y2, negative 7, minus a negative 19. We can make that a plus. And negative 2 minus 1. Negative 7 plus 19 gives us a positive 12. Negative 2 minus 1 gives us a negative 3. 12 divided by negative 3, our m is going to be a negative 4. So if we pick one of these points, let's pick 1, negative 19. We have to do y minus y1. Our y1 is negative 19 equals m, which we found out was negative 4, times x minus x1, which was 1. So 2 negatives in a row, we can make a plus. So it's y plus 19 equals negative 4 times x minus 1. Now, slope-intercept form, we're going to take this equation, y plus 19 equals negative 4 times x minus 1. To get it to slope-intercept form, we need to distribute the negative 4. So y plus 19 equals negative 4x plus 4. Subtract 19. And we get y equals a negative 4x minus 15. Finally, we are going to put this into standard form. So y equals a negative 4x minus 15. All we got to do is move the x over to the other side. So I'm going to add 4x to move it. And we get 4x plus y equals a negative 15. Alright, our next problem is 7 and 3, and then m equals 2 sevens. So 7 is going to be our x1, 3 is going to be our y1. So we start with y minus y1, so y minus 3 equals 2 over 7 times x minus 7. We can make this into slope-intercept form, so y minus 3 equals 2 over 7 times x minus 7. We can distribute the 2 over 7. We get y minus 3 equals 2 sevenths x, and then 2 over 7 times negative 7 is going to give us a negative 2. Add 3. And our equation should come out to be y equals 2/7 x plus 1. And finally, y equals 2/7 x plus 1. We switch that by subtracting 2/7 from both sides. And our standard form is negative 2/7 x plus y equals 1. Finally, the last one that we're given, we have f of 3 equals negative 20 and f of 5 equals 8. So f is usually f of x. So we're going to make some points from this. The 3 is going to be our x for our first point. The 20 will be our y. So now, same thing over here. Five and 8 is going to be our point. So we got to find our slope now that we have our 2 points. So we'll have 8 minus a negative 20 over 5 minus 3. 2 negatives make a positive, so I have 28 over 5 minus 3, which is 2. So our slope is going to be 14. Now if we're going to write this in slope or point slope form, we got to pick a point. I'll pick 5, 8 because it doesn't have any negatives. So we have y minus y1. In this case, our y1 is going to be 8 equals 14 times x minus x1, which is 5. So y minus 8 equals 14 times x minus 5. We have to distribute the 14. So we get y minus 8 equals 14x. And 14 times 5 is 70, so a negative 70. Get y by itself, so add 8. So y equals 14x, negative 70 plus 8 gives us a negative 62. Finally, we have y equals 14x minus 62. We got to move our 14x over, so a negative 14x. We can't combine these two, so it's a negative 14x plus y equals a negative 62. Alright, this problem says graph the equation. This equation is in point slope form. So what we got to do is figure out our point. Well, we know that our x1 is 3. Our y1, though, says plus 6. So that's got to be a negative or a minus a negative 6. So our y1 is going to be negative 6. So our point then is 3, negative 6. So 3, if we're going up by 2's, 2, 4, it's got to be somewhere in between 2 and 4. We're going to go down negative 6, 2, 4, 6. Our point is right there. Now we know our slope, and our slope is 1 over 2. So that tells us how we're going to move. We're going to go up 1, over to the right 2. So up 1, over to the right 2. So So if I go up 1, I'm at -5. Go over 2, 4 right there. Go up 1, over 2. Up 1, over 2. And we can make our line. And we graph the equation. Here our point is going to be a -2 because this is a minus a -2, which makes it a plus. And our y1 is 7. So -2, 7 is our point. Our m, because it doesn't have anything there, we know we can always put a 1. So our m is going to be -1, or -1 over 1. So we're going to go down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. Now we can keep going and make as many points as we want. Our line is going to be negative, going downhill. Finally, the last problem says you are helping to plan an awards banquet for your school. You need to rent tables to seat 180 people. Tables come in 2 sizes. Small tables seat 4 people and large tables seat 6 people. A says write an equation in standard form that models this situation. So standard form, remember, is ax plus by equals c. So what we got to do is we need to figure out what our x and our y axes are. I think our small tables should be our x-axis. Which makes our large tables our y-axis. So, if our x is our small tables, we know that they can seat 4 people. We don't know how many small tables we have, so that's what our x is. We know that our large tables can seat 6 people. We still don't know how many large tables we have, so that's what y is for. Now, it's saying that the total number is going to be 180. So that's what our c is going to be. Our 180 is the total number of people. So now it says find the intercepts and graph the equation. Well, if we're going to find our x-intercept, that's when y equals 0. So I'm going to put 0 in for y, so we have 4x plus 6 times 0 equals 180. 6 times 0 is 0, so we don't need that anymore. I'm going to divide by 4. And x is going to equal 45. Now our y-intercept that's when x equals 0. So we'll have 4 times 0 plus 6y equals 180. 4 times 0 is 0, so we don't need that. Divide by 6. Y equals 180 divided by 6, which is 30. So now we have to graph these. I think if we go up by tens every 2, we can graph this pretty easily. So I'm going to put 10 here, 20 here, 30 here, 40. Well, That's going to give us a small graph, so let's try 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, and 50. So our x equals 45. So I'm going to put a dot right there at 45. Our y equals 30, so I'm going to go up by 5s again. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, and we can stop there because our y only goes up to 30. So our y point is right there. If we graph this, we put a line between the two. So now it says give 3 possible combinations. Well, I'm going to look for some points. Here I have a point, and that's at about 7. Well, let's see if we can find a different point, because that looks about a half. I can't have half on the table. Here looks like a good point. So this one we have 30 small tables and 10 large tables. Let's find another point. Here's one. We have 15 small tables and 20 large tables. That looks to be about it. Remember, this one is 0 small tables and 30 large tables. And this one is 45 small and 0 large. Okay, good luck on your test tomorrow.